Just between you and me, this is love. There's no tricks. Ooh, this is love. Just between you and me, this is nothing. Ooh, there's no tricks. This love is. Just what do I have to do to let you know? Should I make your flowers grow? Should I make it rain or snow? Yeah. So many things I've done just for you. Forest green and the ocean blue, just to show my love is true. Just between you and me, this is not. There's no trace. This love is so real. Just between. This is not. There's no tricks. This love is so real, yeah.
Don't you know I taught the birds to fly, hung the stars up in the sky? Can you guess the reason why? Can you take more than a passing glance? Nothing is by happenstance, yet you think it's just by chance. Just between you and me, this is not no trick. This love is so real. Between you and me, this is not. There's no tricks. This love is so.
I have no clue what just happened. All I know is that you got to see the entire thing that happens normally when there's no show open and we're just in the background. What's up, y'all?
Listen,
how y'all doing? We are
even
glad
gonna
to
trip
be
about
on
this.
tonight. Oh no, don't trip at all.
I'm
You know
not.
why? Because tonight is the definition of disheveled.
That's okay.
If you want a word of the day,
you know,
that's what it is.
you're not
Disheveled.
supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that.
I mean, that's what we are.
No, you are. I'm chilling.
You chilling?
Yeah.
You
I'm
just walked through
chilling.
the
I'm
door.
chilling like a villain. You know what I'm saying? What's up, y'all?
So tonight we had some other things going on. John had a basketball game. We were trying to work out getting him picked up
You ain't
to
got
bring
to
him
tell
home.
all the
But
business. You just
it
come and be
didn't
like,
happen.
"What's up, y'all? We here." You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody know. Look, thank you, Wanda. She said it is okay.
What
That's
is she
right.
talking about? What is Wanda talking about? The fact that we
That we're-
didn't
yes,
have a show
babe.
opening just now? That all you heard was the music? You know what I'm saying? Is that what you're talking about?
Hey, Madeline.
Madeline said, that's the spirit. What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys.
Look at what Tiffany said. Talking about why am I slick
Embarrassed about this topic.
I'm here to
Yeah.
listen in on this tonight
Yeah.
and comment
Yeah,
because
there-
you are
there-
a chime.
There are going to be some who
So,
will be a little embarrassed.
You got
tonight.
to be chiming in, okay?
But that's okay. Embarrassment is a little good for you, especially in a topic like this. I think it's going to be healthy for us to discuss this topic tonight.
Yes, we don't
No
really talk
question.
about this. We don't talk about this.
You know what? It's funny because
really don't.
we'll get into a little bit more with our guest tonight, but I think that we have a lot of shame around the topic of sex,
listen.
especially within marriage. And, you know,
That's
April
what
and I
we
are
talk
very
about
big.
all the time.
We're
Break the
against
shame.
that. We need to
Yes.
break the cycle of shame. And that's one of the things that we want to do tonight. And hopefully, you know, you'll have to cover your eyes sometimes when we're talking. I don't know. Cover your
Cover your
whatever.
eyes? I
Yeah.
hope they don't have to cover their eyes.
Yeah.
babe.
Well, anyway, it's gonna be a good topic tonight. I'm excited about it, and we're excited about our guest. What a notification! Oh God, we thank you. That's what Nichelle said. So she's ready. Primo, of course,
Nichelle
is
is
always
ready.
Primo stays ready. You know what I'm
Stays
saying?
ready.
So we're excited about tonight's topic. Glad you are here. Make sure. Wanda said, "Let me get my AirPods." I guess you don't want the other people to be able to hear it. Primo says he ain't embarrassed.
We
You
know
what I'm
you
saying?
not.
We already know.
We already know.
your position.
Already
Primo.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay, so tonight's episode, we have a very special sponsor for tonight's episode.
I'm so happy
You
about
guys
the
know who this
sponsors.
sponsor is. The sponsor for tonight is CP Nicks. CP Nicks is a company that is co-founded founded by my brother and sister, and Paul and Claire have written a book, and the book is out, and they started shipping it. April and I got ours today. In fact, I've got 5 copies right here. I bought one for us and then one for 4 other friends. And so this is the book. I'm excited about it. We had them on the show not long ago. You guys were here for it.
It was amazing.
And it was a great show.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
It really was.
They brought in some very eye-opening topics, and so they're the ones who are sponsoring this episode. So we want to give you an opportunity to be able to get your own, really. All you have to do is go to cpnix.com.
Yeah, and aren't we giving away a free book tonight?
We are going to give away a free book tonight at the end of the show. So make sure you stay until the end so that you can get your copy of the book. As you can see, the title is God as a Person, Discovering God for Yourself. Paul and Claire did an interview today on someone else's show. They did it a couple of hours ago at 7 p.m. Eastern. I watched the whole thing. And it was just eye-opening. Actually, I grew up with these guys, and still they amaze me.
I know.
When I listen to them talk, especially on this subject.
Yes.
They have done some deep dives in this area, and their whole idea is that we don't think of God as an actual person, and persons have attributes that want to relate. God wants to relate to us. And so, anyway, so you can get your copy of the book. I want to show you this promo real quick, just in case you forgot it. Some of you saw it already, but look at it again.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
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 Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So Wanda asked, please say where I can get the book again. All you do is go to Interview Audio Media. Okay.
Right here.
CPNix, www.cpnix.com. April's going to put it in the chat so it'll be easier for you to find, cpnix.com. And that's where you go to find the book. I think it's going to be amazing. Well, it already is.
No,
and I'm
it's
excited.
a really good book.
I'm excited about getting...
the parts that I have been
about
able to,
reading it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me not put
All right,
this
I'm
on
done
yet.
with my job. I did my job late. So,
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm done. Now
So-
I can really pay attention.
Okay, so let me just say one more thing before we go to our guests and get into our topic for tonight. I'm on sabbatical. I don't know if you guys know what that is. So I'm a pastor, you know that. And I've been working for 21 years straight, you know that. Well, maybe you don't know that. So I took 3 months off. I got approved, and it started this past Sunday.
We about to get wild up in here, y'all.
So
About to get wild.
So a couple things that means.
You're not a pastor for 3 months.
A couple things that means. That means number one, I'm gonna try not to shave for this 3 months. I'm gonna just see what happens. So I usually haven't shaved. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Lord.
And that's why I'm wearing a hat.
I'm about to get pricked.
because
You're not supposed to show it. Like,
I'm
you're
just,
supposed to put
I
your
want them
hat-
to know, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, why?
I'm getting hot,
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
You're
anyway,
warning them?
wish me well, and, you know.
I know,
yeah, put
Kim.
that on.
Listen, tech difficulties right now.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we just
yeah.
gotta look
She
like,
said, wear your
AirPods, we
AirPods,
just
April.
gotta look like we are middle schoolers on a field trip.
A fourth grade field trip.
You know,
sharing I guess it was a
headphones.
CD player
Yeah,
back
sharing
in the day.
a CD
You know what I'm
player.
saying?
That's what we're doing right now. We're taking you back. So
So
let's get this
So
party
before we
started.
get into the subject, we need you
I'm
guys to
excited.
share. Tonight's the night to share.
It really is the night to share.
Because of what we're going to be talking about. We're excited because our guest tonight is actually a new team member.
Sorry, I'm reading the.
You're reading the
I'm
comments?
so sorry.
What happened?
No, Michael.
This dude about to come back looking like Samson. Talking about me? No. Listen, Samson had hair in the front. I can't grow right here. It's all this going to grow. You know what I'm saying?
You look
That's
like
it.
Stevie Wonder.
So I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do it. I may go a couple weeks and then, you know what I'm saying? Danita's on here. What's up, Danita?
Hey, Danita.
Good to see you. Glad you're here tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, tonight's the time to come.
What
This
up,
is this is
Bryant?
this is the night. Yo, seriously, share this right now because this is the kind of subject. It's about to
Yes.
get authentic
Yes.
in the Nixon home for the
Yes,
next
yes,
3 months.
yes.
It might. So what may happen is if April decides that she hates my not being shaved, my unkempt look, then I will shave.
I just don't want to be stabbed in the, in the face.
Okay, let's introduce our guest. So our
Yes.
guest tonight is a friend of ours whose name is Janelle King. She's a new friend, but she's also a teammate of ours now. So you guys know we've been teaming up lately with Lance J Radio Network, our boy James Lewis. He's got us on the radio here in D.C., WOL in 95.9, and then, of course, in Nashville as well, WVOL. It depends on the day, but sometimes we're on Tuesday at 11, sometimes we're Wednesday at 11. And he's been asking different people to come and be a part of his team, people who have expertise in different areas. And he reached out to someone that he's known for a while named Janelle King. And Janelle is a nurse. We'll let her tell you more about that in a little while, who is into women's sexual health. And we thought it'd be nice as a new teammate to have her on the show, but also
Yes.
because of the way we think that this topic intersects with the things we care about with our audience, we thought it would be a great night to talk about orgasms. Now, before I get into that, I want to say something
wanted to
about
say that
this.
quick, didn't
I want to say orgasm. I want to say it at the top because, here's the topic for tonight.
Okay.
A couple of things about this. Number one, seriously, if you have kids that you don't want to hear about this, first of all, your kids already are learning about sex at school anyway. It's probably better for them to hear it from a godly perspective. But I'm not your kid's parent, so you decide what you want to do. And if you're not ready
Kids
for
should be
them,
in the bed, honey.
yeah, hopefully
Kids
they're in the
should
bed
be in
right
the
now.
bed,
You know what I'm saying?
in
But
the
my
bed.
point is, you might need AirPods tonight. I really don't know. But we are planning to be real and authentic as
Yes,
we
yes,
always
yes,
are.
yes, yes.
And we have some questions that we're planning on asking Janelle, but we don't know where this is going to go. Some other stuff might come up. It might be
Right,
great,
right.
So who knows where it's going to go? The point is, we want to forewarn you now. The second thing, though, is Julia was in here. My daughter, 14 years old. She was in here beforehand while I was prepping the show, and she's looking at this this show thing right here that comes up.
And what she said?
She said, "You guys are talking about organisms." I said,
She didn't read that clip.
I said,
for
Julia, you didn't read that. And she said, wait, hold on. You're not talking about organisms? I said, no, we're not. And she said, she looked at me and said, orgasm. She said, I don't know what that is. She said, what is that?
you
I
need to
said,
talk
I
to your
said,
child.
I said, you don't need to know that yet. Now, the reality though is, after the show is over, I probably need to
my.
talk to her about that. Anyway,
Hey, Horace.
yes, Horace. This is the Orgasm Show. That's what we're talking about tonight.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
without further ado, I want to just
Yes.
bring on Janelle.
Where are our questions, babe?
Oh,
Do you have them?
yes.
Okay.
Right here. Go to
All right.
sent.
Okay, that's
Go to sent
good.
right here.
Okay.
And there
There
we
we
go.
go.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
there we
yeah,
go.
yeah. Just make sure you got it. Okay.
We were not prepared tonight.
We were not. It's
Okay.
April's fault. Just kidding. Janelle King.
Hey, Janelle.
Hello, you guys have me cracking up. Hilarious. Oh
We're not even trying to be. This is like just
a
regular,
regular day,
just
regular day.
disheveled, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, you are so kind.
You
to
really
just
are.
be so patient.
My goodness, man.
We're normally on point.
So
but,
real
you
quick,
know,
China said it's the headphone situation for her.
I
So for
know.
her, this is like watching a comedy show.
Yeah.
Because here we are, like fifth graders.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
middle
saying?
school's on the bus.
You'll make it work though.
Listen, we had to do something quick because our tech got messed up, but it's okay.
So Janelle, just so you know, most of the time, I would say our audience is largely married, but sometimes they're not. And we got singles on here tonight. We got one coming on right now, the brown-eyed SLP saying, "Listen, I ain't married yet, but I'm here for this." Saving
Yes.
for future reference. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right. That's
so
right.
just so you know, guys, if you're not married, we're not saying this show isn't for you. This show is for you tonight. This information that we're going to be sharing tonight is just as important for you
Yes.
as it is if you are married. So please send this to your single friends. Go ahead
Yes,
and
go ahead
share,
and share
right
that right now. Exactly.
So Janelle, we want to get to know you a little bit, if you don't mind. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Before you tell us what you do for a living, we want to know who you are as a person. what do you like? What's your favorite thing to do? Do you have any children? Are you married? Stuff like that. Just tell us about yourself.
All that good stuff.
Yes.
All that
Right.
good
So
stuff.
I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. Shout out to the T Dots. And so I'm located in Atlanta right now. I've been here for, let's see, I think going on 4 years. I am married.
I'm sorry.
I have been married 11 years. All the years
Nice.
kind of blend together after a while, right?
Yeah, they do.
11 years. I have a 7-year-old. We all look alike, which is crazy. I have freckles. My husband has freckles.
Wow.
Everybody thinks we're like brother and sister. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, how cute.
Wow.
What? Yeah. What else? And then gosh, being a mom and trying to do this stuff and working, that takes a lot of my time. But I like to read on my downtime. I'm trying to get back into my fitness more seriously. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm about.
So is the fitness
Awesome.
thing what you like doing for like fun and stuff? I mean, do you work out
Yeah.
for fun? Okay.
Yes, because that's the only time I get to be alone. Like, my husband doesn't bother me, my daughter doesn't bother me. I just go for runs and nobody wants to run
Oh,
with me.
my
So
goodness.
it's perfect.
So are you like a big runner? As in like you've done a marathon before, or you're kind of a 5K-er? What are you?
I've done a half marathon. It was cut like a number of years ago. Like,
Oh,
I think
wow.
I'd like to do another one in the next like 2 or 3 years. Because of COVID, I haven't done any races. They haven't done a lot of races since I've been here in Atlanta, but I'm gearing up to do a 5K next month, and we'll see how it
Awesome.
goes from there.
That's cool, man.
Awesome.
Well, our audience is very happy to meet you. We're glad that you're here tonight. Thank you for
Yes,
sharing your
yes.
expertise with us.
By the way, I've always wanted freckles, so just to point that I used to take a eyeliner and me and my sister would put freckles on. Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
didn't work. It did not work, but we did want freckles that badly. But anyway, yeah. So tell us your journey as a nurse. I know you started in public health, and what's your history there?
Yeah, so when I did like everybody else does. I went to school, tried to make something of myself, like my parents told me. I started out in public health, and I actually worked for the state of Ohio at their health department for like 8 years.
Wow.
I worked in as a health educator, did heart disease and stroke prevention for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Kind of transitioned into maternal and child health for the last 3 years. I liked what I did. Public health is all about like populations and slower changes. I like what I did, but I got bored. So I was like, let's just go back to school. That's what people do, right? Like, why not?
Yeah.
So it was kind of a toss up between like nursing and dietetics. So I was like, let's try nursing. How hard could it be? So nursing is actually right. Nursing is actually my second career.
Wow.
Yeah, so I kind of did the slower route. When I decided to go back, they didn't have these accelerator programs. So I did an associate degree in nursing, and then started working at a children's hospital in Columbus, Ohio, worked there for about 5 years. And that's kind of how I stumbled into reproductive and sexual health. So I've been a nurse for about 9 years. I've worked in reproductive and sexual health. I've worked in college health. I've worked in cardiology, research, kind of a lot of different areas.
So
Wow.
that is really awesome. And that's a major journey, and sounds like a lot of years of schooling. I don't know
Yes.
anybody normal who's just like, yeah, I'm going back to school for another, I don't know, however many years that is.
Right.
So the question though is, when it comes to this idea of reproductive health, it sounds, pretty important in some ways, but in some ways, I've been looking at your Instagram and looking at your reels and the posts that you
They're
make.
so good, by the
They
way.
really are. They're
Oh,
hilarious.
thank you.
And obviously, I put your handle there just in case anybody wants to follow you at the Nurse
Yes,
Note.
go follow her
She's a
right
very good
now.
follow.
Yes,
there's
very
no
good
question
follow.
about it.
I've screenshotted multiple things, by the way. Sending it to my sister.
So my question though is, what drew you to this idea of just dealing with reproductive health and, sexual health for women and
yeah,
stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a crazy journey because, like, I am the last person who thought I would end up here. And so when I was working at the Children's Hospital, I took a job. It was in a teen clinic. So I'm thinking, teens, yeah, it can't be that bad. But a lot of the work that I did was around reproductive and sexual health. So the teen clinic that I worked in, they were like in urban centers. So we had a lot of girls come in. We dealt with like STIs, STI treatment, birth control. And I was very fortunate to work with a team of Black women who did like, they knew their stuff. We were a small team, but a mighty team. And so they taught me a lot about reproductive and sexual health just because that's the population we were treating. So, looking back on it, it was like a great experience. And people, like a lot of my friends and, colleagues knew that that's kind of the area I worked in. So I started to get a lot of questions about, hey, you work with vaginas. Sure, why not? And so I just decided, like a lot of the questions that I was getting, I'm like, well, if my teens are asking me this, like how many older women don't know these things? So why not make a platform about it and talk about it?
And did you find that that was the case, that a lot of women in general just were unaware of their reproductive organ?
Yeah, and I guess because, and my husband tells me, he's like, it's common sense to you because you do it every day. But a lot of people, and myself included, like we didn't grow up with this information. It was a lot of secrecy and shame around like reproductive and sexual health. So the things I'm taking for granted, like why I think it's common knowledge, but okay, I'll tell you. A lot of women and men, they just did not know. So and I got a lot of questions and DMs from people. I'm like, okay, well, if people keep asking me this, like let's put it out there so that everybody knows the answer.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing. And we thank you for the work that you're doing. It's good work. And we're hoping that tonight will open some eyes about some of this stuff. You know what I mean?
And before we get into that, though, we saw a couple of your reels. It was talking about racism in the medical field.
Yeah.
When it comes to Black women. So can you just expound on that? Can you tell us your experience with that?
So the post actually, it spawned from a book that I'm currently reading. It's called Killing the Black Body. So this book is specifically about like medical racism as it deals with women's reproductive and sexual health for Black women. And it's real. Like I've had people tell me stories. I've had, people always ask me questions. So I had like my cousins or friends ask me questions. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, here's what you need to go back and do. Ask this, ask this, ask this, tell them this, be firm about this. So I made the post in hopes of like it garnering attention so that's something we can talk about, but also to let people know it's okay to advocate for your health. Not only reproductive and sexual health, but just advocate for your health. Because sometimes like providers, if they don't look like us or they don't have our best interest, they'll kind of, give you this one-off answer which may not help you and may not get you to your end goal. So it's important to like recognize like you're not alone. This is like a real thing that happens. So just advocate for yourself and your health.
Yeah, I have experienced that myself actually, and it is a terrible feeling. It really is. So I'm glad that you are making people aware of that, because I mean that's really important. It really is, to be able to advocate for yourself. So we talk about sex a lot on our show.
We do.
And we advocate for shame-free sex, you know, and so we want to talk about orgasms. Okay. We want to talk about what are some obstacles to women achieving orgasms, because we hear all the time from different couples. We actually hear that, some of the women have never had an orgasm and they don't know why. And some men feel they are not accomplishing their task because of that. Right. So what can you, what insight can you give us on that? Because we really don't talk about that at all. And I think it's because of the shame that we have that makes it so that we don't have that conversation. And women need to know so that we can know what to do, because, we got to get,
Women, you're not alone. If you haven't achieved an orgasm, you are not first of all, you're not the only one. Like it's probably more common than you think. So there's a lot of things, like as women, we wear a lot of different hats. So there's the fact that there could be like psychological stressors, just stressors from life, your job, money, mortgage, all these things. And so you're thinking of these things and have this on your mind while you're engaging in sex. So that could be inhibiting you from achieving an orgasm. Wow. It could be related to past trauma. People have gone through various different experiences and maybe not have dealt with those experiences, which are then impacting your ability to achieve an orgasm. It could be medication. There's a lot of people taking different kind of medications, and they may not realize that that's actually impacting their libido and their ability to achieve an orgasm. It could be related to the type of stimulation that you're having. So perhaps you need more clitoral stimulation versus vaginal stimulation, and you're not getting that. So that could be impacting or negatively impacting your ability to achieve an orgasm.
And we talked about that.
We have.
We talked about that in our last episode, actually.
We actually did. That's true.
Yes.
So one of the things that I'm worried about or thinking about is, as a man, if my wife does not achieve orgasm, my natural inclination is I did something wrong. I'm inadequate. I was not able to get her there. Something like that is what would go on in my mind. And I'm imagining other husbands, other men are feeling the same exact way. Hearing you say what you're saying, Janelle, means, in my opinion, maybe it will help some men to be less anxious. Because I think there is, if I'm just being 100, I think there is pressure that comes along, especially if there's if we're getting used to the idea of us being intimate and I finish but you don't. Then there's this thing now that makes it so that that's on my mind the next time, and I'm wondering, oh man, is it going to happen? And it's like all this pressure. So I don't know if when you're getting your questions from people come to you with stuff like that. Like, how open are they with you about this kind of stuff?
It depends on the person.
I'm sure.
Really. And so, yeah, I understand the pressures, and I think that it's an uncomfortable conversation to have with your partner, but I think it's still a conversation that should be had. Like, I don't think you're going to resolve each individual. You're not going to resolve the problem individually. Like, the problem may be together, it could be, but you need to talk about it so that you can kind of come up with a solution. Like, you may think it's your partner may think it's him, but no, it's because I'm thinking of the million different things I have to do after we're done with this, right?
Wow. That's deep.
You're right. You gotta talk about this, or you could be thinking like, it's ridiculously hot in here. I can't even concentrate on what's going on because it's just so hot in here. So.
Right.
I think it's important. It's these conversations, and it comes with time and experience. Like, it may not be comfortable to have it, but it's something that you have to have to, get the most out of your situation, and hopefully both of you achieve orgasm.
And so you're saying that that even the environment, which we discussed this last week when we were talking about foreplay, but your environment can actually keep you from being fully satisfied in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something we don't talk about.
Yeah. Like, if it's you're in a room that's like messy, you're just thinking like, oh my God, this place looks like a mess. Some men may not notice that, but as a woman, you're like, I need to like clean up in here. I can't even enjoy this experience because it just looks cluttered, right? So yeah, there's a lot of different factors, and I think that's why I think it's just important to have these conversations so that you both know, like, hey, if you want this to happen, we need this place spotless, because I can't concentrate because I'm thinking of all the dirt in my room.
That's deep.
That is deep.
Like you.
Right.
No, that's really deep, because we only think about the physical.
Yeah.
We only think about how long, or if you're hitting the right spots or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think saying the word spots. I want to ask you about the G spot. Is that a real thing?
Does that exist?
Does that exist?
It does exist. It does exist. I mean,
can you explain that?
And I'm seeing comments that say, how do we find it?
Yeah. Okay.
You said you have experienced it or not experienced it?
Have not.
Okay. Well, no. How would you know?
So.
How would you know? Like, how do you know if you experienced it?
How do you know?
From this description, like, it's supposed to be. Well, actually, I don't think I would know, but it's supposed to be like the most pleasurable experience. Some women, I think, they, quote unquote, if you hit it, they squirt like all sorts of bells and whistles.
Oh my goodness!
Off, right?
So that's how you know. Okay.
I don't think I've experienced that.
I got people say, "Where, ma'am?" Asking for a friend.
Yeah, where is this spot? Is it different for different people? Because I read that one time that you have to find yours, and that it's different for different people.
I've never, like, from what I've read, and it's been a while since I've looked at the information. It's like deep and back, and like, I can't describe for you. It's supposed to be like on the surface side of the, like, internally, and for men it's inside their inside the anus. Men have one too inside the
Oh my goodness.
Apparently.
I don't know if that G spot wants to be.
Yeah, I don't. we don't need to explore that G spot. Not mine.
So China said ain't no G spot.
Based on all that, you know what I'm saying?
But that could come back down to like arousal and being like completely in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're completely relaxed and you're feeling your partner and you guys are connecting, that could be the result of that as well.
So I'm just going to be a little transparent, not too transparent, just a little, but just thinking about what you said about the mental, because oh man, we don't think about that as much when it comes to orgasms. And I know that when I had an IUD, I was, things were great, whatever. But when John got a vasectomy,
And she was off birth control
and I was
altogether?
off birth control, just the thought of
freed.
and it wasn't even IUD. It was the thought of not my body being freed of that.
Hormones,
you know what I mean?
and
just being freed
and
anything.
other things in you.
Right, but
you know what I'm saying?
and the thought of even like getting pregnant,
right.
knowing that this is pretty secure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
Like him getting that done.
Yeah.
And it freed me mentally to enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And I just don't
understand
think that we
completely.
talk about that enough, because lots of women talk about how they're not fulfilled and not satisfied, and men are trying to figure out what to do, and it could be a mental thing, it could be an environmental thing, but that's not being explored to see if that's what the problem is. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that as a registered nurse,
Right.
and you are, you're able to tell us from a scientific perspective.
Yeah, there's so many factors that play into it. So yeah, we can't, the body is physical, but we're also like spiritual beings, and the psychological part. So you have to think of all those pieces, put all those pieces and parts together, right? So,
Yes.
Okay, so before we go to the other, we have another question that was written beforehand, but this one was not. I want to ask you something else. So you were talking about the difference between the kinds of ways in which women reach orgasm. You said some maybe need more vaginal stimulation, maybe some need more clitoral stimulation. Is there any other kind? Are those pretty much the only two kinds of orgasms? And how would a husband or someone go through having that conversation, or trying to figure that out? You know what I'm saying? Which one is the right one? You know what I'm saying?
some women can achieve orgasm through nipple stimulation. Can't forget about that, right?
Okay.
So,
Wow.
I think it's important for women to, like, the way that you would know that is the woman has to know her body, right? You have to know what you like and what turns you on, so then you can then share that with your partner.
Right.
So a large majority of women normally, like, they need the external stimulation, so they need clitoral stimulation to achieve orgasm. But there are some who just, can achieve that through vaginal stimulation. There are some who can just achieve that through nipple stimulation. So you have to know your body, and then share that with your partner.
And that's the business you're really
wow.
in. The business you're in is helping, at least for a number of years, young ladies to understand their bodies. And what you found was that women in general seemed to be largely unaware of aspects of their bodies that they needed to understand.
Yes, I believe that, and I think it's partly because we don't have sex ed in school, and we don't talk about it at home. So
True.
where are we getting this information from?
Right.
We're sharing it amongst your peers, and do your peers really know what they're talking about, and where are they getting their information from? So there's a lot of that, because there's a lot of stigma and shame associated with it. So we're not getting correct scientific information, factual information to help us.
That is so true. Okay, so I'm going to just pivot a little bit and ask you about what you think is a good or important factors that you need to look into when you are deciding on birth control.
What are some of the things?
Because we, just like you said earlier, we've been talking about this, how birth control can affect all those things. And libido and all of that.
So I think the most important factor you should consider is like lifestyle. What is your life? Are you a person that is going to remember to take pills every day? If you're not, then that's probably not the one for you. I think as a medical professional, we look at like some of your medical history, and like, are you even eligible for some of the medications? Like if you have a history of high blood pressure, sometimes we don't put you on certain pills, like the contraceptive pills or something like that, a history of, PID and that kind of stuff, you may not want to get an IUD. If you get BV chronically, a copper IUD may not be the thing for you. So I think it's important to look at lifestyle. You have to look at some of like your medical or your physical factors, and then like whether or not, another thing would maybe like whether or not you want hormones. Some people are just like, I don't want hormones, that's not for me. So that may rule out some of the more effective, scientifically more effective contraception, but there's still good alternatives for the non-hormonal birth controls as well. So there's a lot of things, different things to look at. So, but the biggest factor I say is like, what is your lifestyle like, and how easy, or how I shouldn't say that. How involved do you want your birth control to be?
What does PID mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, pelvic inflammatory disease. So it's like sometimes when you get an infection, it's usually like either an STI or some other infection. It kind of moves up into the your pelvic region, so like into your ovaries and fallopian tubes and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so you're saying a person that has...
I don't know nothing about my hoo-hoo.
Yeah, you really don't.
I need to get it together.
we need like a master class.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but speaking of that, that's what we're talking about. But when you're talking about, because we're talking about sex and all this stuff, and I want to ask you, and again, I'm pivoting a little bit, but cleaning properly. That's really important, especially when we're teaching our young girls how to clean, whether to shave it all. Like, what are some things you would have to say about that? Because, I've had friends that shaved it all and then they get infections. Is that, something we should do? How should we be cleaning daily? What would you recommend?
So my philosophy is less is more.
Okay.
Theoretically, from the science and the literature, you're supposed to use your clean hands, and then they usually recommend like a mild cleanser. If it's closer to your vulva and vaginal pH, the better. So what's an example of a product? There is a bar soap. I'll have to get the name of this case right now. It's a cleansing bar, so it's not an actual soap, so it maintains the vaginal and vulva pH. You're not supposed to insert anything into your vagina. So the vulva is the outside part, the vagina is the inside part. So you're really not supposed to put anything inside your vagina to clean it. So like no douching, no products, nothing like that.
Right.
I tend to tell people to stay away from like scented products. So like all the wipes and the feminine washes and that kind of stuff, those can really disrupt your microbiome, so all the bacteria and stuff that you have on the inside and outside, so that could lead to other infections. Now, I say that with like, so if you've been using a product forever, you're not having any issues, continue to use it. But if you kind of notice like you have some discharge or funky smells, you might want to look at some of the products, because usually that's kind of one of the things. Technically, you're really not supposed to use like washcloths or loofahs or anything like that down there, because it can contain bacteria in there, and so you're kind of spreading bacteria around, disrupting that.
Wow.
In terms of hair removal, so the hair is there for a reason. It's actually supposed to be there. There's no medical reason that you're supposed to get rid of it. However, it comes down to personal preference. Like if that's something that you want to do, like the theory is to clip it. You don't, if you're gonna shave, shave in one direction only, to the way that the hair grows. I think the preferred method, so there's issues when you start to like do the waxing. I think sugaring is the preferred method. Waxing, there's burns and you can do all that stuff. But again, if you've been doing this forever and it doesn't bother you, and
you're fine.
Yes, because some people saying Brazilian wax, they got to have it, honey. Some of them saying they got to have the Brazilian.
right.
It's very painful, but yes.
There's no no medical reason that you have to get rid of the hair. However, it's supposed to be there to help and protect against debris and all that kind of stuff. However, if you're a person that sweats a lot and you're like, dude, it's giving me a funky smell, then, you can take matters into your own hand, but just be safe while you're doing
Can
it.
I just tell you, Janelle, that you're hitting right where the audience, while you're talking, people are asking questions and you're answering them without even putting them up. What's your philosophy on douching? I was told not to use them, so you answered that question already.
Yes, no douching, guys. No douching.
Someone asked, what's a PID? I asked that same question, but they also asked, what's an IUD?
Yes, it's actually, what is an IUD? What does
Right.
it stand for?
What does that even stand for?
It's an intrauterine device. So an
That's
IUD is a type of birth control. So it actually sits in your uterus. There are two types. There is one with hormones. So it's usually like a progesterone hormone. They have like the Liletta and the Skylas and the different brand names. And then they have one that's a copper IUD that doesn't have hormones. And it kind of does the same jobs except without hormones. And so IUDs, depending on which ones you get, they're long-acting birth controls, so anywhere from like 3 to, I think the copper IUD is up to like 10 or 11 years. And you can put it in, it's completely like your ability to have children is completely reversible once you take it out after a few months. So it's a long-acting, it's kind of like a set it and forget it. So a lot of people like it because once it's in place, you don't got to think about doing anything daily with it.
Right. So we have a question that just came in, and you don't have to answer it if you don't feel comfortable, but I think this is a very good question. How would you educate children in regards to experimentation with masturbation? And we were going to talk about later, we're going to bring up children and when to talk to them about certain things, but what do you think about this as a nurse from the medical perspective? What do you think about this?
From the medical, I think it's important to talk about it. I think my personal opinion, there's a lot of shame around sex already, and it's a lot of the reasons why, I used to see teens in my clinic who they had a whole infection and didn't know what the STI was and how they got it. So I think it's important to talk about it with your teen, to be open and honest as you can be with your child about the topic matter. So just so that they know, give them the information so that they know.
I do think that we really set ourselves back and our children back when we're scared to have the conversation. And you're inspiring me. I'm going to talk to Julia about orgasms as soon as this is over. Now we've had the sex talk with the kids. I'm just kidding. I'm joking around. We've had the sex talk.
We have,
but
not
we never used that word orgasm.
No, we never
before.
used that word orgasm.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain that.
I'll tell her what. I have a way of explaining it.
I won't be in the room. It's really sad, but I still have that. I guess it's shame, because we grew up with that, and so I still kind of have that. And we are very open with our kids. We've talked to them about sex since they were, we decided age 8, 9. That's when we, and I don't know if you feel there's a certain age that would be best.
Another person has asked, what age should you talk to your child about sex?
Yes.
Developmentally appropriate, of course.
Yes.
So what do you say?
You should start as early as toddlers. Kids are just curious by nature.
Right.
I remember a time that my daughter, she's 7 now, that I think she asked me something like, where does the pee come out? And so I took a mirror, I'm like, look, it's
yeah. He's like, what are you doing?
What is happening?
What is going on right now? I think you should talk to they're gonna ask you questions, and I actually think it's easier when they're younger because the answers are a little bit more superficial.
Correct.
But it should be an ongoing conversation.
Yes.
Start early so that they become comfortable coming to you with these questions. And it may not be easy. It may and kids can catch you off guard sometimes. You're like, we really want to talk about? We're in Sears right now.
Right.
Right.
But you can table it, which would give you a time to compose your thoughts and have the conversation. I think there's always a mom in the group that's okay, and if you're okay with that mom having that conversation,
turn it over there.
True. That's good.
Your doctors, your pediatric doctors or your teen, they are. This is what we do, right? So we educate all day, every day. So there are different avenues and there are resources, but I think your kids are going to look to you first and foremost, so give them as much as you can, and then you can use backup resources.
Yeah. True.
So we got a few more minutes. I want to ask you about something another thing that I saw on your Instagram that April's friend told her about.
Yeah,
and
I
to
wanna
me, I
ask
was
this
like,
question. I wanna
what?
ask
Okay,
this
go ahead. You ask her.
So she's been telling me you got to use these period cups. They are the best. You will never go back. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. But when she described how you have to insert them and how you have to take them out, I was a little grossed out. So I would love to hear from you, your perspective, and if you think it is better, and is it safe, because it's kind of scary sounding, and please explain to the audience
what is
what
a
is
period cup? Yes.
So a period cup is actually what it sounds like. I wish I had my demo. Like it's an actual
You have
cup.
a demo? Oh my goodness.
Like I have.
See, people are saying they don't trust them.
Yeah,
What if
right. What if it spills?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
that's what people say.
okay, Aaron, are your hands up, Aaron, because you use them? Please tell me.
And somebody else said my favorite.
Yeah,
You
somebody
see what
said
I'm
my
saying? So
favorite.
there's people out here
So
that are believers.
I might need to do this. Okay.
I am a believer. And
You're a believer?
I was just like you. I was
Really?
like so skeptical. I was like, this is
Just-
gross. Like, why would anybody do this? And
Yeah.
so they're just like they're little cups. Some of them are like shaped like little discs, and you insert them, and they just collect the blood, the menstrual blood. So it sits there. You can wear them up to 12 hours, and depending on your flow, before emptying and then reinserting. And so I was not a fan. I was like, this is the most grossest thing
Yes,
ever.
I know.
Why
I'm
would
afraid.
anyone do this?
I'm afraid.
And like, what if it get lost? What if it does, depending on, there's different brands and different sizes of cups. So you would have to do a little trial and error. But I use them. I love them. I am a convert. I've been using them for a couple of years now. I don't have cramps. My periods are shorter.
Really?
Yeah. And as I'm getting older, but like my periods have been different since I started using them, and I'm an actual convert.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Okay,
In a
so
good way, yes.
I think that this is a question that women always have, and maybe they don't, but I know my friends. We are always afraid, and this sounds so dumb, that the cup or even a tampon or whatever is going to be sucked up in there and it's never going to come out. And you're going to lose it. And if, I think that is a good thing to find out. Will anything get caught in there where it can't come out? Because if that's the case, then I think women would be more willing to try things like this.
No. So your vaginal opening looks like this. The hallway is the vagina. At the top of the hallway is kind of where your cervix is. So it's a little, and your cervix is closed unless you're dilated and having a baby. So no, nothing will get lost in there. You may forget. I mean, I've had patients who forgot they were wearing tampons, and you have to take it out.
I don't know how you do that. How do you forget? Oh my goodness.
Their teens are like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But nothing will get lost. Anything that's in there you'll eventually know. So you'll have like this odorous stench, or it'll come out. So nothing will get lost in there.
Okay.
So Ebony's saying her cycles change too. So apparently this is a thing.
Listen, I'm about to be on, and so we need to know the brand. What is the best brand?
Somebody put a brand in here.
Who put a brand?
Salt brand. SAALT.
I haven't tried Salt, so I have the Diva cup. I have the Flex cup, which I like a lot.
April's taking notes.
Diva Flex Salt.
Flex cup. What's my other one? I have a Ruby cup. I have a Nixit cup.
Nixit. I might need to do that one.
Yeah, like Nixon. Yeah.
There are different brands, and people are like the respondent said, like there are different brands that people love. I've tried a couple different ones. I like the Flex cup. I think it's comfortable. It's easy to get in. There is an ick factor. I'm not gonna lie. There's an ick factor when you first try to insert it.
Yes.
Taking it out. You're like, it looks like
that's what I'm afraid of.
So it looked like a murder scene.
Oh, that's what I heard. I'm so afraid of that. So I hear that over time it gets better. And Abdel,
She's glad she don't have to deal with that no more. She started that next one.
Abdel, no.
Are these flushable?
I don't think so. Don't you wash them out and reuse them?
The ones that they're usually reusable. So it's made out of like a medical grade silicone usually.
Yeah.
They're reusable. What happens is like there's like these different like washes that you can wash them in the shower, and then you're supposed to boil them like so that they
Right.
you get rid of all the bacteria and stuff so that it doesn't
Got
give you some sort of infection. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But they're and that's the good thing about like they last for a couple number of years depending on like the wear and tear, so that you don't have to buy tampons or pads anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
So Janelle,
Oh, my
my two
goodness.
questions as a man about this thing is, number one, will this positively impact our sex life somehow? I mean, is there, you know what I'm saying? Is there going to be a positive?
It could. I mean, your period lengths are shorter,
More days now.
Oh,
And less cramps too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That is a good point. I didn't think about that. Now I'm just curious. You were so against it, like April is. What convinced you? Did you have a friend that said,
what convinced
"Girl,
you?
you got to do this"?
What
And you know what I'm saying?
convinced me to do it? I think, I just kept. I did some information about it. I had a doctor, even one of the doctors I worked with for years. I was like, this is some foolery. Why would I do that? And so I just kept reading about it, and you're like, well, you know what? Let me try this because I was writing blogs about it. I'm like, okay, let me actually try this before I tell people it's good, bad, or in between.
Right.
So
People
I
ask
tried
me all the
it. I
time.
kind of got to get used to it, and I was like, oh, this is easy. Okay, I'm changing my cup like twice a day. I don't have to think about like, oh wait, so it works.
I'm
for
sorry,
me.
I'm getting really excited about these questions. More questions are coming in about the cup. I have to ask you. These are such good questions. First of all, somebody's asking if you can have sex. Somebody's saying you can have sex with the disc or whatever these are called.
You can yes, you can. That's some of them, like they're designed where you can have sex. So I think I want to say the Flex Cup and maybe Nixit Cup, like that's why they promote it, because
That's one of the ways
like
to do.
it's like it looks like a mini frisbee essentially. So it sits
hilarious.
kind of at the top of your cervix, and so it's supposed to be mess free, and then it gives you the ability to have sex.
Interesting.
What? And so somebody else is asking, do they have to wear a panty liner? Because what if something comes out? Is it possible that you could still leak a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Well, first of all, yeah, because if you have to make sure that it's inserted right and that they work by suction, so you have to make sure that it's in there correctly so that nothing leaks out.
First couple of times, you're probably
leak.
not going to get it right.
Right. So you want to stay close to home, or you could throw a period panty on, which are like panties designed to like absorb blood. Like that's the design of the panty.
Right.
But I think that
period
your flow, you have to know your flow. So like if you have a heavy flow, you may have to change it more often. So usually it's like the flow and then making sure that you have the correct seal so that you don't have to wear a panty liner.
So I'm gonna just tell you, there's a bunch of men who are on here at first that are like, "Yo, I'm out." You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I'm ghost.
But the numbers went up, honey. The numbers went up.
But I tried to help the men out, bring it back to them, and say, "This might impact your sex life good." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You guys need to just go ahead and share this right now, just in case some women want to pop on, because people are also asking, how do you know if it's in correctly? How do you know if you've got it suctioned right?
So there's different ways, like, I don't know if you see the videos, but there's different folds that you can do to kind of get it in there. And so when it's in, one of the ways you can ensure is that once it's in, you should be able to kind of like move your finger around the perimeter, and it should feel open, like the whole thing should feel open. If you feel a
Not
side that's
folded
not
anymore.
open, then
Right,
it's not open correctly.
Okay.
That means you're gonna get like spillage and all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
This is great.
Sorry, guys. I tried to.
No, but you know what? I think men need to be aware
I
of
agree.
this so that when you come in the
I
bathroom
agree.
and there's a little spillage, you ain't gonna go crazy. You know what's going on, and you know your wife is trying something new, or whatever, trying something new. So
I always tell people who start them, like, I convinced my best friend to get one because she was like, well, I finally got her to convince. I'm like, buy a period panty in addition to having the cup for the first couple times, so that if you do have an accident, it's usually
okay.
contained, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So we can't ask no more of these questions. Y'all gonna have to do that next time.
Horace Thomason, please lock the door.
and Primo said, "Nice try, John," meaning trying to bring it back. I did pretty good, I think.
He did. No, this was really good.
I really enjoyed this. So Janelle, you are going to be joining, or you may have already officially joined Team Lance J Radio. Tell us about that. Did you officially join already? What are you on? Where can everybody find you? And then give us your handle and stuff too. I mean, I have your handle up there now, but tell us whatever you want to tell us.
So I am officially on Team Lance J plus Paragon 7 Studios. I actually did a couple of episodes right before Christmas. I'm heading back up to Nashville because he's in Nashville. I think the end of this month, do a couple more episodes. that's been a lot of fun. He's always a good time.
Yes.
As for me personally, you guys can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, what else? My Twitter, what's the other one? TikTok.
Yes, yes.
And it's
All
all the
handles.
nurse note
The nurse note, yeah.
every single time.
Every single
Yeah.
time there's the nurse note, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have anything, I mean, if you have Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, follow her now. I'm
Yes,
telling you,
'cause
she's
the
a really good follow.
information
It's
is
not just good
great.
information; she's very
And she's
entertaining.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
is.
just good. You
It's
know what
good,
I'm saying?
it's
So
good.
you definitely want to do that.
Yes.
So welcome to the team. Glad to have you. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on tonight.
Thank you
This is
so
amazing.
much.
much.
And thank you for being so
so much.
open too.
One.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
we do. We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll probably poll the audience and ask them, what's all the stuff you would have asked her tonight if we had had the time? And we may bring you back just for that.
Exactly.
Of
Definitely.
course, of course.
Thank you so much. And
You can enjoy the rest of your evening.
That's
I have no
right.
idea. Are
I
your
know.
kids in bed already? Oh, your
Oh,
daughter,
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
in
yeah.
bed.
Second, yeah.
so
Oh, okay.
this is your time.
Yeah.
Yes,
Redeem your time now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Janelle.
All right.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was literally amazing.
That was great.
So I'm not joking.
And-
Like, babe, I'm gonna just tell you right now. I support the cup thing.
Yeah. Do you?
Yes, because
Okay.
she just said it's probably going to be shorter.
I'm already short.
Imagine if it was shorter than it is now.
Listen to him, y'all.
Imagine that.
He don't want to give me no breaks.
Hold on. And she said,
I'm sorry. I had to
and
make
she
that
said,
joke.
you don't have any cramps and stuff?
It's true. I don't really have cramps either, though.
Either way, I'm just saying
So,
that's
you know.
literally next level.
But the thing I like is the whole 12 hours. You know, I like being able to be at school teaching and not have to be worrying about going
Right,
to the bathroom and doing all that.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I
That would
need
be so much
to,
more convenient.
I need to practice with that thing. I need
Yeah.
to go ahead and just do it. My
Yeah.
friend's been trying to get me to do it for so long. So I need to just go ahead and handle that.
So hopefully you guys learned some things tonight about how to please your woman. Well, really please each other. But the point is, a lot of people, you may be in a situation where your significant other is not able to achieve orgasm. It may have nothing to do with you. It may have something to do with something you could fix, though. It
Yeah.
could be something in your environment right
Yes,
there that could
that's
change
simple.
some things. You know,
That's
April
simple.
just told you how things changed for us when some environmental things changed in our relationship and how it made it easier. So you got to think about all that stuff. So hopefully that was helpful tonight.
Why do we grown people cheese when we talk about sex? It don't even matter.
I don't know, but I don't know why when I do this, it would
Why
did
did-
that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why's all the stuff all
You know,
messed up
tonight that
you
you
know
know,
what I'm
I always know that when things mess up like that,
saying? Yeah,
it's because the topic is deep.
I think it is, and it's supposed to be
this is
something that
that's
isn't supposed to get out. You know,
I'm telling
or you know
you,
what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
The
And
Deborah.
The Deborah, man.
All right,
They
y'all.
trying to mess up stuff.
So we want to give away a book. So instead of saying Team John or Team April, I want to see, is there anybody who is interested in getting this book, God is a Person, for free? And if you are, you just need to put "Give me one" in the chat right now. And the first person that does that, the first person that says "Give me one" that we see on the chat, you DM us after we see your name, and we will make sure we send this to your home. You will get one for free.
You gotta
have to
say,
"Give me one."
Give me one.
People are
Type
saying
that
me. They're all
in.
saying
Give
me, but that's like,
one.
"Give me
Type in,
one."
Give me one. Okay, the first
Je-
give me one was. Go down. Go down. Go back.
It was Kim.
It was Kim.
Hey, Kim, you can't win.
Kim, you can't win. We'll
You know
give
what I'm
you.
saying?
You'll get one anyway.
It'll be Horace.
Horace.
Facey. So the person that actually won was Kim, April's sister, but she can't have it. That's not fair. But we're gonna give it to Horace though. Horace, we might already have your address actually. I'm not sure, but give us your address.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
make
send us your
sure.
address.
But maybe DM it to us or whatever,
Yes.
and then we'll be able to send it to you. And make sure that you get your copy. You guys want to get your copy of this book, God is a Person.
And we're gonna have them back on the show to talk about it.
We are.
It's a great, just awesome book,
Yes.
y'all.
They're our sponsors for tonight. They are my
Open
brother
my eyes.
and sister,
Yes.
Paul and Clarice Nixon. And it's a really good book. You can go back and look at one of our old episodes. It might be 5 episodes ago of where we had Paul and Claire
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
you
So
know?
I just want to go back to the whole orgasm thing.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we're gonna end with this.
You're trying to get some more Team Aprils? Is that
No.
what you're trying to do?
It's already Team April, babe. You know.
Well,
I
I only saw one. You know,
But,
so that
you
came
know,
through. I saw a team
Kim
both in
talking
there
about,
too.
oh man. But listen, fellas, just specifically towards women, like there are several ways, according to the nurse note,
Mm-hmm.
that an orgasm can happen.
Yeah.
So you have to, go in and explore those things.
Yeah.
Don't just think about, okay, if it doesn't happen this way, there's this one way.
Mm-hmm.
Explore those things because we talk about shame-free sex and fulfilling one another.
Yes.
That is so important. And I think that last thing that I just said should get all Team Aprils.
No. But I will agree with you. I will be Team April on that and say that I agree with that. I agree that, first of all, men, get out of your own head. It may not be you, and it may not be anything physical that you are or are not doing. You may be surprised at how much closer you could get your wife to being fulfilled sexually if you thought more about the environmental things that you don't care anything about. Those are things that help to set her mind at ease, to clear her mind. Already she's gonna be thinking about everything during that time anyway. So those things can really help. And hopefully it helps you in your relationship to start enjoying it even more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right, guys.
Next week, y'all, we're gonna be right here again. We have two more guests, a husband and wife. They're gonna be on with us. Jamie Calasar, his wife Carlene, the two of them together.
Be on next week.
They're gonna be on next week. You guys may have seen them. They did a Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago about jewelry, and they did it again this past week. It was really good. But there was something that Carlene mentioned in that interview, or that it wasn't even an interview. They were just the two of them talking about stuff. She mentioned something that I thought resonated with us about how you have to live your life for other people sometimes. And so we wanted to kind of talk about that next week. And so we hope that you'll be ready to come back.
Yes. Sorry, China. We see all of our YouTube and Facebooks on the same.
Yeah. So we don't know who came first.
You didn't come up. We do know who came up first.
Yeah,
what
we
do.
do. I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying it's on both.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah,
so
we're
YouTube
able to
Live
see
and
YouTube
Facebook
and
Live
Facebook on
comments
here.
come here at the same time.
So we can see
So
it.
whoever was first would have came in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Sorry,
Jeff said good
China.
question. Good question, China.
We are being fair. We can see both Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
But
here.
you guys can still go to the
And I'll
website.
put it in the
that is
thing.
www.cpnix.com, and you can purchase your copy today.
Yes, and we should have a. You need to text Paul and Claire right now because they should be giving us a coupon code for our chimes.
Oh, that's true. That's a good
They
point.
should be giving the chimes
we
a
need
coupon
to figure that out. As
code.
soon as we have a coupon code for y'all, if they give us one, we'll make sure we pass it along to you.
Yes,
We need
yes.
some music to end this show, and we'll do this right here because this is the song that
That we start with.
Primo likes this.
It's supposed to be this one though.
Oh, you want to do this instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primo got that in the beginning.
This ain't as good of a, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's just
it
okay.
is.
Anyway, we'll see y'all next week. We love you guys.
Thank you,
thank you
China.
for joining again tonight. Make sure you share this with some other people. Even after it's over, you can always share the replay, and it might help them.
And so I just want you to know that sharing actually helps us. It helps us grow.
course.
It helps us
Yeah.
to just build our audience. So
Yeah.
share just because you guys are chimes. We love you so much, and we're so glad that you come every Wednesday night. We got our chimes that come every Wednesday night. We really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So we'll see y'all next week. Love y'all, and
I hope Madeline getting down with me at the house.